Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, October 22nd, 2025. I am Manila Chan. That over there is Ted Rall. You are tuned in to the Ted Manila Information Show, or TMI Show for short, because we are always bringing you way too much information. And today we're going to TMI it on you men. And I'm glad, because I'm tired, Ted, of all the gaslighting about, oh, women over 40, your eggs. And I've been saying for a long time, Ted, that is TMI. I've been saying for a long time, because I've been reading about this for, I don't know, like the past 5 years, when I read the book Countdown by Dr. Shanna Swan about male, fertility in general, but she talks a lot about the male Jizz. And the quality of the sperm. And I took a fascination to it because I turned 40 that year, and it was COVID. So I had nothing to do but learn, I guess, about sperm. So I'm really glad to see that finally it's less taboo to talk about. So we're going to talk about that kind of TMI today and a bunch of other stuff. We have a hard out at 11. We do this Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern time. Please be sure to like, follow, and share and subscribe to this show wherever you are consuming this content. It goes really, it does go a really long way to help the show continue to grow. So with that, Ted, first up, I'm going to hit the jaws, and we're going to do some new Iron Lady talk. She's awesome. and she's a Iron Maiden. She's a punk rocker. No, she's a punk rocker.
Heavy metaler.
She's a rock and roller. Heavy metaler.
Yeah, it's heavy metal. That's not punk rock.
Although
in the 80s there was a controversial overlap between punk rock and heavy metal. And there was even a period when a lot of hardcore and punk bands were delving into heavy metal to make a little more scratch. The Ramones released a heavy metal. I'd say 2 heavy metal albums. Heavy metal-ish. Too Tough to Die was their big heavy metal LP. By the way, it's aged pretty well. At the time, it was kind of like, but now it's that's kind of a great record.
Yeah, I remember going, this is a different sound for the Ramones. But anyway, we're talking about the new Prime Minister of Japan. So let's jaws it.
Lawmakers in Japan elected hardline conservative Sanae Takaichi as PM on Tuesday. She became the first woman in modern times to lead the key U.S. ally. Ms. Takaichi, 64, former Economic, Security, and Internal Affairs Minister, who spent nearly 30 years in the lower house of parliament, is a ultra-conservative who previously said that Britain's Margaret Thatcher is her hero. My goal is to become the Iron Lady, or I won't make any jokes about Ilan Rady, although I just did that.
Oh, Ted.
She said recently. The new leader of the governing Liberal Democratic Party, the LDP, was elected by lawmakers in the lower house by a vote of 237 to 149 over her closest number 2, Yoshihiko Noda. He's the head of the liberal opposition Constitutional Democratic Party. She was also elected by upper house lawmakers in a second vote of 125 to 46 after falling 1 vote shy of a majority in the first round. Although her election is a milestone in a country where women are actively underrepresented and discriminated against and marginalized to the point where they actually have to speak their own version of Japanese, Takaichi enters office with a fragile coalition and facing a number of pressing challenges, including a visit next week by some orange guy from the United States. A protege of assassinated former PM Shinzo Abe, Takaichi wants a stronger military because, when Japan has a really big military, what could go wrong? Tougher immigration policies and because, the thing about Japan is they're known for being so open-minded to immigration and allowing so many foreigners in. Love them, gaijin.
Yes.
And the revision of Japan's pacifist constitution. Because when I think of pacifism in Japan, I see only trouble. Being sarcastic here. She's a veteran politician who has served of course, in numerous cabinet posts. Earlier this month, she was elected leader of her party, the LDP. That party, Japan is not really a democracy.
No.
The LDP has governed Japan almost uninterrupted since
They
World
lost
War
one
II.
one time.
One time.
One time.
They ran unsuccessfully in 2021. Oh, sorry. And in 2024. Oh, she ran unsuccessfully.
Oh,
Her ascension to PM was thrown into doubt after a crucial partner, the Komeito party, left the LDP coalition. So yeah, I mean, Japan's not a democracy. If you are the head of the LDP, you become PM.
Yes, it's a uniparty system.
It's more uniparty than here, because it's not even like, fake two parties like we do, like we have.
Not even fake duopoly. Before we get too far in opinion, Robbie says we have an ad that we got to do now.
Tap that. Let's do it.
And tap that ad. Oh yeah, tap that ad, baby.
That's it. Before we talk about the Toxic Jizz, which is the name of my new heavy metal band.
That could be good.
All right, here we go. You've probably noticed Rumble is growing fast and it's not slowing down. They're building a real alternative to big tech that puts creators first and actually protects free speech. And now there's Rumble Premium, an easy way to upgrade your experience with Premium. You get ad-free viewings across the platform. No pre-rolls, no interruptions, just the content you came for. Plus, Premium members unlock exclusive content like bonus videos, behind-the-scenes drops, and more from your favorite creators. Right now, Rumble is offering $10 off an annual subscription. Just go to rumble.com/premium and use the promo code studio at checkout. That's rumble.com/premium, promo code studio. No ads, more freedom, and content you actually care about. That's the deal.
Ted, before we get into our own comments, Adrian in the Rumble room says, perhaps the new Japanese PM should think about getting the birth rate up instead of ramping up military spending. Japanese sperm needs some love. Well,
I don't know how the fuck they're going to reproduce there, because there's no place to go and fuck. Everybody's living 17 generations in like a studio apartment. Japan has literally they call it a 3-generation mortgage. The standard mortgage, you'll be interested in this, Manila, is a 120-year mortgage when you buy a home. That's standard.
Get out.
Your kids and grandkids and maybe great-grandkids will inherit your mortgage.
Get out.
Because like in Tokyo, a $5 million apartment is a modest shithole. And so basically.
So this is like Manhattan on crack.
Totally. It's insane. So so basically no one has any privacy whatsoever.
Wait, how does
no one can, like, if you like, boy meets girl, girl meets boy, girl meets boy, but boy meets girl, but there's no place to go and stick it, because like there's, what am I going to do? Go home to hang out with mommy and grandma and grandpa and great grandpa. All of us, Papa San lives here too. It's fucking crazy.
How does a 100-year mortgage work though? Like, is that really a thing? Like, it passes down to the generations?
Yes.
So the 100%. Family home is truly a family home, like an obligation.
You inherit the debt. By the way, debt is transferred from generation to generation in Japan. If I'm a Japanese dude and I go on a fucking wild bender and run up my credit cards on wine, women, and song, like, my kid inherits that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I never.
The sins of the fathers and the mothers are passed down.
Wow. Okay, well, Ted, that probably explains part of why the Japanese economy is spiraling out of control right now.
Yeah.
And
no one can
buy anything. The Japanese
it's been all downhill since the real estate crash in the early 90s.
Oh my gosh.
I was there. I had a front row seat for that shit.
You were working at the Japanese.
Yeah, I was at the Industrial Bank of Japan watching
what a name.
These egotistical bastards like doing these real estate deals just because they could. And they weren't literally just ignoring the numbers, because it's banking. Banking's about numbers.
It's about it's data. Not math. It's not
math.
Actual.
It either works or it doesn't work. And like people
finance
were just
is very different than math. That's what
Right.
That's what I tried to explain to people, because remember, I always say I'm bad at math, but finance I'm good at. And I worked as an automotive finance manager. I know how to move numbers around. But if you ask me the hypotenuse of a triangle of a whatever, forget it. I'll never be able to do that. But if you need me to move some money around and pull a little from here, move a little there, package this together
that's
here.
Finance. Yeah.
I know bank A won't buy this, but bank D over here will buy this. So if I make a deal with bank C, I can make A and B happen. That I can do.
Yeah.
Triangles and whatever, forget it. But here's the thing, Ted. So I'm going to give you some more color to the Japanese iron lady here. Okay. Very, very weird. So I started looking up, because she's made some very strange comments, right? About, like how this is a momentous moment. She's the first Japanese female prime minister, yada, yada, yada. So I'm like, okay, is she like a new feminist, like a nouveau feminist?
No.
Is she? So here's this weird thing, right? Okay, so she didn't get married until the year 2004 when she was 43. Her husband then 52. They met when they were both working in the lower parliament. Her husband's name is Taku Yamamoto. Okay, so she's 43, he's 52,
Taku
roughly
is
10 years
strange
apart.
Name for a Japanese dude, but all right.
Taku. So
he sounds like a character, like in Pikachu.
Taku.
Like, did you collect Paku? I found Paku at the store yesterday.
Taku.
Taku. Even worse.
Taku Yamamoto. Mm-hmm. So they're roughly 10 years apart. He's a divorcee and he had some biological children of his own. So he came into the marriage with children. She never had any children of her own.
Child always makes me laugh, like as opposed to animatronic. But anyway, go ahead.
No, as opposed to adopted, So like she doesn't have. So new Iron Lady here has no biological children of her own. So she has his, she's helped raise his children for the past 20 some odd years. So then somewhere along the lines, they split up. She did a Liz Taylor. They divorced and remarried each other.
Oh, like with her and Richard Burton.
21. Yeah. Yes. So they split up after I don't know, less than 20 years. And
wonder what that was about.
They split up for 4 years. They remarried in December of 21. And she made him take her last name.
What?
So he is no longer Yamamoto.
He is now Kakoldo.
He is now Takaichi.
He is Pusso.
He is now,
No, all kidding aside, I mean, I think that's look, I think that's fucking great if people want to do that.
It's very progressive.
And there's no reason why not. And by the way, a lot of Hispanic people have that thing. Is it Spanish?
What's both?
Or
they get
Portuguese?
It's most Latinos do the mom's name last and the dad's last name is in the middle.
Matronymic system.
Yeah,
I believe.
so you'd be like, I don't know, like Jennifer. If your maiden name is your mom's name is Lopez, let's say, and your dad's name is Sanchez, you'd be Jennifer Sanchez Lopez. But your legal documents, you would be Jennifer Sanchez, your dad's last name. But you'd still be presented as Jennifer Sanchez Lopez, which is Lopez is your mom's name.
I see.
So like J-Lo,
I see.
I don't know if she follows that strict, like Lopez is her. I assume her dad's name. It depends on how Americanized they are. So if they're Americanized, they just go by first name and dad's last name.
Got it.
So here, Mr. Yamamoto, she's not Mrs. Yamamoto. She's Ms. Takaichi. But here's the thing, Ted. On the campaign trail, the prime minister specifically
has something to do with the fact that it's to avoid confusion with the first family that because he was a divorcee.
I don't know. But here's what pisses me off about her is she was on the campaign trail saying that she believes in traditional marriage. Gay marriage should be off the table. It's not something we should accept.
Well, the Japanese are incredibly homophobic, right? I mean,
and so she says that outright, but then she went on to say,
the Japanese hate everyone.
Ted, she went on to say, though, that wives should take on the traditional role and take on the husband's last name.
What?
But she made her husband take her name.
Well, maybe
So
he,
rules
maybe
for
he,
thee,
he
but not
likes
for
being a
me.
bitch.
No, this is a rules for thee, not for me. This is what I'm
Typical
saying
conservative.
here.
What are you going to do?
So yeah, so that's what she's
Well,
doing
typical
there.
politician, right?
She's not doing anything about. She's not offering to, like fix like how you have a family. Like if we think our birth rates in the West are bad, I mean
Oh,
Japan's in a
it's a
death spiral.
catastrophe.
She's not doing anything about that. She's not, and I haven't heard her address anything like you said, Ted. I've never even heard of generational mortgages. That's fucking nuts. She hasn't said anything about that. She's talking about weird,
you'd be talking
right-wing
about
shit.
You'd be talking about changing the underpinnings of the Japanese capitalist system. God forbid we should do that. LDP is never going to do that ever.
So like 30 years that they've been doing this, and she's not willing to rattle that?
No, this goes back 50 years.
Yeah, but I mean,
it goes back to the 80s at least.
It's not that long. But if you know that's not working,
a lot of countries have this shit. It's sort of like in India, where they have these crazy lawsuits that go on for there are lawsuits like land disputes that have been winding their way through Indian courts since the British Raj, and that go back over 100 years.
But if this isn't working in your society and you see it now because the rest of the world has changed, why would you continue down this?
Oh my God, Manila, you're such a cute bunny. Imagine a society that had systemic problems that it chose to ignore and not do anything about, and had a political system that was completely unable or unwilling to address those concerns of the vast majority of its citizenry. Oh, I can't even imagine living in a place like that. Thank God I live here in the United States where we don't have anything like that.
That's
really hilarious.
I'm really up in arms about this. I'm disturbed by this mortgage thing. You know how I feel about
I think 30 years is too long, to be honest.
Yeah, this is nuts. So that's one of the underpinnings of how you create families is you allow people.
Well, how are they going to reproduce? They're going to have to do IVF because, like I said, I don't even think they can do IVF because the guys don't have any place they can jerk off. That's why they have to go to like love hotels, right? You know about love hotels.
Well, I know they even have little love pods.
There's themed hotels all over Japan, and especially in the cities, and often to protect the delicate, feelings of the Japanese. There's no front desk attendant, so you put in your credit card. And then there's like a lockbox, a key. The door opens like in an automat of yore. Inside is your room key. You go in and you have like an hour or two or whatever time you paid for, and then they're all themed, right? Like so, this is like this is the Roman Emperor suite. This is this is the Montana suite or whatever the fuck it is. So,
like you want to do a Wild Wild West suite?
Sure, like exactly.
Okay.
It's like that.
Oh, the Imperial suite.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like you can be like, I will be your emperor.
So, well, these are like hourly motels, basically, without a front.
Yes, but the point is, it's really mainstream. Look, this is a very perverted.
It's a normal.
This is a culture it's highly repressed. I mean, I know I mentioned this to you before. They have so many major problems. I don't even know. First of all, girls like under 25 can basically not ride the Tokyo Metro without being like fingered by like random people.
Oh God,
it's like,
no!
It's like impossible. They're like getting grabbed and like
women are assaulted on the metro
routinely all the time, like standard. Like if they do, like, there's no way you could credibly say if you're Japanese and you're 18 that this hasn't happened to you. It's not possible. And then
that's disgusting.
And then like also. There's no place to have sex. Husbands and wives. Husbands are fucking prostitutes. Wives are basically fucking their sons. So there is a massive incest problem, so big that the national government has like ads that say like, don't fuck your moms. It's not cool. It's like, so what happens is that the salaryman is off to work like until like 3 a.m. Mom's at home, sexless all day long. She's bonding with her son, who's trying to prepare for the big, college entrance exams, which make her determine your entire future as a Japanese man or woman. And so she's like, I help you concentrate, I help you concentrate
Oh
first.
no.
And then it's like
no.
one thing leads. Yeah.
This,
And so
Ted,
it's not
Ted.
like a.
You got to qualify this though. This
not
is
like
not a Ted myth.
This is Google it. You'll see. It's a
Google
massive
that.
fucking problem. When I've told this story to people, they're like, no fucking way. And then they look it up and they're like, holy shit. It's literally, they've had to have government public information campaigns. Japan is a sick society. They have first of all, no territory, right? Most of the country is uninhabitable because it's all mountains. So people are all living in vast quantities size piled up on top of each other in just the little rim along the shore. And they're all up each other's asses. And there's no private space. So people can't be themselves. I mean, it's a real fucking problem.
Oh my God.
I would rather die than live there. I mean,
oh my God. That's, they did a real good job in PR, right? Where they've convinced the rest of the world, even other Asians, that Japan's this
they've got it going on.
This Zen, it's two things. Either you go to Tokyo where it's popping off and hot and cool, hot, awesome, Harajuku girls at every corner. Everyone, you can go get some udon noodles everywhere. They've marketed well, right? They're tech capital. You want robots serving you your tea. So that's Tokyo. And then you go off to the mountains to some resort to get all zen, right? That's how Japan's marketed. So, and even to an Asian like me, like myself, that's what I think of when I think of Japan. I'm like, yummy, clean eating,
that they
zen.
have.
They've really done a good job at marketing. But as a journalist, I do know that there is a lot of dirty sides to Japan, including the underbelly of the culture, right? The sex, the cheating with the sumo, the whole Yakuza gang and how they basically own the police. They're basically an international terror organization that we just don't talk about it. The Yakuza, right? They're all on US major cities, right? I've reported on stories about Yakuza bosses in New York City and Los Angeles trading arms, sending arms, buying stuff from Ukraine and trading it to various rebel groups in Africa. Yakuza bosses, they've been arrested in the US. But no one talks about that. So I know that much about Japan. I just didn't know it was this fucked up. I didn't know you can't live anywhere. I know I know people are dropping dead at the desks because they're working so hard, right? It's terrifying. It sounds awful. That sounds awful.
Yeah, they did create a cabinet level ministry of leisure to deal with all the salarymen dropping dead at their desks. And I don't know if they still do this, but in order
These
to
are
try to
45-year-old men with getting heart attacks.
Manila, they also have this whole sense of shame if they fuck up at work. We used to get the IBJ newsletter from corporate. I couldn't read it because it was in Japanese, but if there was a photo of a salaryman and it was in an oval crop, that meant that he had committed suicide. And we used to get those all the time. We had 10,000 employees. I would say it was rare when there wasn't someone who had done that in the monthly newsletter.
Oh my God.
Always, and you'd be like, "Oh, did you hear about Yamamoto? Oh yeah, he jumped. He jumped in front of the bullet train in Tokyo Station. He lost the Sansui account, so he had to go." It's my God. It's oh yeah, and of course it's not like they feel sorry for him. They're like, of course he did the right thing.
Yes, this is. He did the right thing. Yes.
Yeah, of course he is loser. He lost that account.
So Ted, this lady, she's by all accounts, all the things that she's saying is the priority of the LDP, which is the priorities of Shinzo Abe, which is this is what the guy that shot Shinzo Abe with that homemade gun. Obviously, I'm not a proponent of offing
I should hope
political
not.
rivals or whatever
not
on the
good.
street.
Not good.
This is not good. But this is what the guy who shot Shinzo Abe, this is what he was trying to stand up against. Because he did write like a.
What was he trying to stand up against?
The platform of the LDP of like what they want to create more war. They want to create.
Yeah,
they want to
No,
return to Imperial
Japan. He was a fairly promising figure.
So this guy,
Japan has
was like,
just like the U.S. has a tendency to kill its best and its brightest.
So Shinzo Abe, not a nice guy. He was the one that brought back the military. Like he was the one that flipped from the pacifist Buddhist position that the country had been in the past. After we Nagasaki and Hiroshima them, like he's the one that did it. Shinzo Abe started turning the gears of war, and it's like, let's return to Imperial Japan, I guess. So,
Well, yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway,
just what a weird country. I've not been there. It's not really on my bucket list to go to, but maybe I should see it.
If you care about the cool old architecture, it's really worth seeing. But otherwise, I don't think there's much to it. I mean, the people are extreme. You won't get to know the people because they're so racist and unfriendly. I mean, it's crazy. Like literally, like I could get onto a crowded, jam-packed subway during rush hour, and I could just walk in and get a seat because people would like get up rather than sit down near while.
Oh, they don't want the white man near them?
Oh, the white man is the foreign big-nosed devil is evil. So yeah, the gaijin is like, let me tell you this is one of my favorite. Is that what
you are, gaijin?
Gaijin, yeah. Like let me tell you one of my favorite Japan stories. So when I first got the job at IBJ and I had to go to Tokyo all the time, my friend Ron, he goes, dude, racism works for you. He goes, listen, so all of the train tickets at the time were the same little, like the old movie tickets, like little tiny ones that we used to have. They were the subway. So the subway ticket for the Tokyo Metro was like a small little white ticket like that with Japanese shit written on it. Well, the same exact size, but obviously with other different content, was used for like regional transit and even for the big bullet trains that went all the way down to the other side of all the way to southern Japan, right? And that would cost hundreds of dollars. They all look the same to Western eyes, but they have like obviously different writing. So he said, you see, when you get there, only buy one ticket. You'll never need another ticket. And so what happened is, the first time I go into the Tokyo Metro, there's an old man who collects the tickets and drops them. He tears it and drops it into a box and hands you a stub, right?
Like a movie theater, they would.
Yeah, like exactly. And and the guy's like old, like cranky puss kind of guy. Anyway, I hand it to him, and he's just like this, just go, like gross, like like gross.
Like, a white guy giving me a ticket.
Like he's not even taking my ticket, right? So I still have my ticket. And then the next time I ride the subway, same thing. Just go. So nobody wants to deal with you. So I took.
They won't even touch what you touched. This ticket.
Right. Okay. Exactly. That's well said. And so I was like, fuck it. I'm going to Hiroshima. It was like hundreds of dollars, right? I'm like, I'm riding first class. So I go and sit down on the train. Now this is a reserved seat. It belongs to some dude who paid for it, right? Some Japanese guy. Now, obviously, he could come up to me and just say, "Get the fuck out of my seat. That's my seat." But I just have like the
regular fare,
the old subway ticket, right? Which is now like old because I've been using it over and over. And I'm just like this. And he looks at me like, like it's contaminated. Like this fucking guy, he's been sitting in my seat. Like I wouldn't want to sit in that fucking seat. Like I would. It's like there's it's like he came there and there's a giant poo there, like sitting
Like
in
you
the
jizzed all over the seat.
yeah, like I had toxic jizz everywhere. So I just sat back and enjoyed the ride. The train, he didn't complain. The train conductor came by. I'm like, he doesn't want to deal with me. So like I raced racism to my way all over Japan, riding first class the whole
You
time.
exploited the racism.
Yeah, racism was working for me. Now, granted, nobody would talk to me.
You saved hundreds of dollars.
Thousands.
On train fare.
Yeah, absolutely. No question. My only regret was that I couldn't use it on the plane.
Oh my God. I mean, I had heard that the Japanese culture was very insular that way, but I didn't know it was that they would treat.
It's crazy.
Wow. I'm just kind of wow. Because I have one girlfriend who I went to high school with. I don't know if they actually got married, but she's lived in Japan. I think she went to teach English and fell in love. And I don't know if she's actually married to the guy, but she's a very pale-skinned Mexican American. Like she's one of those, what you would call white pass. She has pale white skin, pale white skin, and very light green eyes and jet black hair, right? So she looks like an anime character, right? Like that's, so when she walked over, when she rolls into Japan, they're probably kind of like, ooh, but she never told me that she had any weird experiences like that. I mean, I don't know. Maybe she didn't notice. Maybe it's different because she's a girl. I don't know, but she's been in Japan.
As Joe Jackson said, don't you know that it's different for girls?
Maybe. I mean, she's been there like 15 years.
Well, why don't you should talk to her?
Ask her about it.
I mean, look, at least girls are going to be getting hit on and stuff. Well, not guys.
I wonder if they would have treated her any differently if she looked Mexican. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But she doesn't. She's pale. She's one of the fairest skinned Mexicans I know, and she has light green eyes and jet black hair. So
no, they definitely would have been different. No question.
I've never asked her that because I never knew that about Japan, and she's never volunteered any. We were talking about when I lived abroad and she lived abroad. We were like, oh, both look at us, we're living abroad. She never said anything about that, but that's interesting. All right, let's move on to our thumbnail topic here, Ted. And this is something you've heard me say it on the show, and I've said it sprinkled out here and there, whether it's on radio, on TV. No, it's not for me to sprinkle.
Sprozzled out.
But truly, Ted, if you want to read an interesting book, like one of the most interesting books I've read in the past 20 years, Countdown by Dr. Shanna Swan. That was when I first learned about like this weird phenomenon in Western society about the quality of men's sperm. Because like I said, that year I was turning 40 in 2020, or right thereabouts is when her book dropped. And she was talking about how not only are women, like women's egg counts and whatever, women keep getting blamed for, infertility or low fertility rates, right? And she's like, actually,
wait, how do women get blamed for that?
Because women are like Robbie always blames women like me, putting our careers first and not getting married and having kids.
You guys are you start trying to have kids late.
We start late. Yeah, that's exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So Dr. Shanna Swan comes out with this book, and she's like, actually, in America in particular, in the Western world, in America in particular, men's sperm counts have diminished by over 60% since the World War II generation. So over the past 50 years, men's sperm count, like your sperm count is 50% less than, but we know that now in the past 5 years, because this was not something that she's done. She's like the leading researcher on this. So now it's becoming more mainstreamed with this particular article, but this one goes even further. I would say, a lot of these scientists, they, especially if you're working on a particular topic, these scientists know each other and they read other people's studies. Obviously,
right.
I didn't
Good
read
point.
So they kind of know it's a small world, just like us TV journalists, we all kind of know each other. We're about 1, 2, 3 degrees of separation, right?
Precisely. Exactly.
So same thing in the science world. And so I guarantee that this new report kind of used Dr. Shanna Swan's decades of studies to springboard off of to arrive at this. So here's a story. So this isn't your average fertility drops with age story. The researchers weren't just counting sperm or testing for mobility. They were digging deep into the genetic code itself, and what they found has massive implications for how we think about male fertility and children's health. After sequencing more than 1,000 sperm samples, scientists discovered that sperm doesn't simply deteriorate with age, it actually starts to change at a genetic level. They found that older men were far more likely to produce sperm carrying potentially harmful mutations. The research published in Nature, that's a magazine, revealed that these mutations don't just appear randomly either. Certain genetic changes seem to thrive inside the testes, effectively giving some sperm cells a competitive edge. Over time, these mutated cells can take over, a process some researchers have dubbed selfish sperm. The study found that mutation rates increase steadily with age, rising by around 1.67 mutations per year per genome. By the time a man reaches 70, as much as 4.5% of his sperm could contain a likely disease-causing mutation. The team identified 40 genes involved in this process, many linked to developmental disorders like autism and cancer. Study author Dr. Matthew Neville from the Wellcome Sanger Institute said, quote, "We expected to find some evidence of selection shaping mutations in sperm. What surprised us was just how much it drives up the number of sperm carrying mutations linked to serious diseases." Meanwhile, Professor Matt Hurley's director of the Wellcome Sanger Institute and co-author of this study said, "Our findings reveal a hidden genetic risk that increases with paternal age. Some changes in DNA not only survive, but thrive within the testes, meaning that fathers who conceive later in life may unknowingly have a higher risk of passing on harmful mutations to their children. While most mutated sperm never lead to conception, the research suggests children of older fathers may face higher risks of certain genetic conditions." So, like I said, when I first read Dr. Swan's book, that year was the year, and the first year of COVID was when I suffered a miscarriage fairly late. So I started kind of, you do some research, and I started finding out more and learning more about basically the continued gaslighting of females all around the world, that it's always us to blame. The onus of having children is always on us. To control pregnancy is on us. We have to take the shot that causes fucking cancer, breast cancer, ovarian cancer, whatever. We take hormonal pills to suppress, getting pregnant so we can go, pursue our education, pursue a career, whatever. Also that you men can go jizzing about all over the world, all over town, but we take all the risk, right? We take the pill, we do all of that. And then when we finally do have a family, oh, well, now you're over 40 and your kid is autistic or whatever. That's your fault. Your eggs are bad. Your eggs are expired. You don't have any more eggs. You're in perimenopause. So it's always been gaslighting and blaming of the woman. But when I discovered all of this in 2020 and I started reading into it, I knew that there was research that's been brewing, and I've been saying for a long time that it's impossible. Like, you men, like, I read a longer report on this very subject, which is why I pitched the story, is that while you men, yes, constantly, I think it's something like 1,000 sperm cells daily are more or less created by male testes on average per day. It doesn't mean the quality of your sperm are good, because the shape of the sperm head could be not as torpedo like as it should be in order to burrow into like a woman's egg, right? Your the tail of the sperm can be gone altogether. It can be shortened. It could be misshaped. It can because the tail of the sperm acts like a rudder in order to swim to a woman's egg.
It looks exactly like a tadpole.
It looks just like a tadpole. So basically, you guys with age, yeah, you might be producing more sperm, and everybody loves to point to, well, look at Hugh Hefner. You know, he had babies until he was like 70.
Or Tony Randall.
Like, or Al Pacino.
I didn't even know he was straight.
Al Pacino just had a kid
Al
like
Pacino,
2 or 3 years
great
ago.
example. Yeah. I mean, all of those guys, their sperm is basically dust, and but yeah, they're fucking rocking.
Can it happen? Sure. Can it happen? Sure. But the point of this study,
I wonder if those guys use IVF though.
Exactly. We don't know, because someone like Al Pacino, loaded as hell.
Although in IVF they don't. They use a procedure called ICSI to select for the rounder eggs and fertilized eggs, and blastocysts. But they don't do that for the dudes. I don't think they select for the sperm. I think they don't. So I don't even know if they can.
They can. Well, yeah. I think they can now that they can basically, and
they can use AI to do that, right? Like literally to identify
the technology,
what are the best ones, and just use those.
Yes. So and you can select for the healthiest looking swimmers from the pool of jizz
with the most
motility. The point of this, that's right. The point of this study is to actually show that, yes, while you men are constantly creating, like it takes, I think, I forget how many days, because if you guys are producing 1,000 sperm cells, it doesn't mean all of them turn into great little swimmers every day.
No.
Because it takes, I think, like 30 days for that cell to mature into a tadpole, basically. And then you'll see that they'll get a tail, or they'll get a pointy cone head, right? Within 30 days. And a lot of them are just like useless, no motility lumps that aren't going to swim, right? They just go out with.
They're like little. You're saying they're like little millennials, useless, no motility.
little millennial or Gen Z, the older Gen Z.
More millennials, I think. Gen Z is more hopeful.
Yeah, I think Gen Z is more hopeful. So maybe the end millennial, you're just kind of there, just all right. You release them into the wild with a group, and they just they're there. And maybe one or two of them in that 1,000 batch might have the tail to swim, might have the pointy head to burrow. But the whole point is, even if those ones that have the right head and have the right rudder, they might carry a genetic mutation that will make the egg be fertilized with, a baby that's bound to have like childhood cancer. I mean, that's where they need to look into this, right? Like, how does a child get born?
It's a fucking serious problem.
It's horrible. It's fucking horrible. I know a woman whose little daughter, my heart broke for her a couple years ago. She died just before her 2nd birthday because of childhood cancer. It could be, and they're older. She's, my age. They're older parents. It could be that. It could be. I'm not blaming her husband. It could be that maybe he was 40 plus and his swimmers carried a toxic DNA mutation that caused that, right?
Yeah. Sure.
They don't know what causes childhood cancer, and this could be the start of that. And it says so in this study that the sperm mutation could be the link to cancer and other or autism or whatever. And maybe not Tylenol, Ted, like RFK Jr. says.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. So, but maybe it's your swimmers. So I'm just here on behalf of, like mothers over 40, right? To say that, look, we've been gaslit as women forever to say it's all been us. It's all us. But now, like I said, I've said this before, Ted, science couldn't wait to produce a little blue pill to make sure you guys can constantly have a boner until you're Al Pacino's 95 years old age, right? They couldn't wait to produce that little blue pill for you guys. But nobody bothered to check on the motility of your guys' jizz. And instead, women have been blamed for 60 years about what happens if the children are born unhealthy.
I have personal experience that the lies.
Clovis is mad. He's trying to open the door, by the way.
Oh my God. Clovis, go around. What are you doing, silly cat?
He's reaching for the door handle.
I know. No, he does. He has figured out how to open the door sometimes.
Well, he has mastered
went like the door. He will take over the world once he figures that. Once cats can open doors, it's only a matter of time before they master flight. And that's it. And we're all dead, which is frankly just the way I
kamikaze cats.
Katakazi.
Katakazi. Yeah. So I just think like this is like this is something that has been long overdue for women, no matter what age, but for women, for mothers out there to stop blaming us for everything. Because your guys' sperm quality goes down.
But so I'm sorry, Clovis
after 40 also.
You. But Manila, when I had my kid at 40, and I had my sperm tested. They tested my sperm for motility. They did.
Yeah, but that's one TED.
So what do you mean? They did.
One TED doesn't change the study. Just like individualized health doesn't change public health, right? So. That's when you look at the averages of the 1,000 sperm samples that they look at, there are exceptions to every rule in every part of life, in every facet of life.
But you don't think that like if a father is a would-be father or a father is older, that they're not going to check their sperm? I mean, I don't think that's true.
No. How many men?
No. That's not that can't be true.
Most men are not lots of people who are that kind of money.
I know lots of yuppie older fathers, and many of whom had to do IVF, and of course they checked their jizz.
That's Ted. That's if you.
I mean, of course, the woman is mostly responsible because women are evil, but like still, but secondarily, men have to be checked.
But. I'm saying the societal blame the blame and the onus have always been put on the woman, and I think
You mean for infertility?
Infertility for the baby has autism, the baby has Down syndrome, the baby has whatever is.
Like when I heard that Tony Randall had a kid when he was in his 80s, I believe it was. First of all, I was like, that guy's straight, and then secondly, I'm like. I'm also like thinking, well, he's not going to see his kid graduate from high school, right?
No, of course.
And then I'm also thinking, is that kid going to, grow up to be a Republican because like they're obviously retarded and like, they're with dust, like dust sperm causing the
gross. So this is like. I don't know why Robbie thinks he says this is a retarded argument. I don't know how this is a retarded argument when we're saying that there's actual. What's retarded, Robbie? I'm going to put Robbie up here. What the fuck is retarded about this? When there's a chance, when there's a chance that you can discover why children are born with cancer.
So there's
like a possible.
Source. So possible. What does that even mean?
No, a lead.
What does a lead mean?
That's what that means.
So do we have plastic in our bodies? Yes or no? Do we have plastic
Robbie,
in embryos?
We know those studies are underway.
And what you're butthurt about is that I took women to school over waiting, spreading their legs, fucking everything that walks around, and instead getting married and having kids. That's what you're mad at me about. That's what this is
No,
about.
I'm not mad at you about that.
No,
You're mad at me.
You're
mad at me.
No, I'm not.
You're mad at me.
I'm not mad at you.
For not meeting the man I want to marry until I was almost 40 and having a child.
I'm not mad at you.
That's your beef with women like me.
It's
not because I was a hoe.
I am mad at the society that says women need to prioritize career over family. That is suicidal.
So,
that is
Robbie,
insane.
How do you feel about this? Is a softball question. How do you feel about the tech companies in Silicon Valley that tell their female employees, "Don't worry, you can freeze your eggs. We'll pay for it. Just keep working for us. Don't take time off."
I think that is absolutely evil, and I don't know why any woman would work for a company that does that.
But there is no article, though.
Okay, so hold on. What you're saying is that men like me say that women like to wait till they're older before they start having kids, and then as parents get older, then you run the risk of having genetic issues, and that men are firing blanks or firing a defective slug to a withered, dried up egg. Is that correct? Is that your argument?
The argument is society always blames
no?
Women. You're part of that society, that patriarchal society that says women are all to blame for fucked up kids.
Who said that? Because
society. Society.
So
and just like you're saying, society is telling us to be hoe bags and go lay down with every Tom, Dick, and Harry, and we should just marry the first Tom or the first Dick or the first Harry that puts a ring on us.
Okay, so here's the